So today I wanted to show you how we can integrate this camera into our UC2 system. So what I want to do is having this camera that you can find on Amazon, eBay, etc. from Arducam being inside our system. And what you're going to do is using Autodes Inventor to make a small module. Luckily I found already some files on the GrabCAD where somebody already did the effort into creating a 3D file. I just downloaded it, and there's also in this folder a step file we're going to use. And so what I already did, and I think we just start from scratch again. You create a new assembly file inside your project, and what you do is you import, well, first of all, for example, the Arducam USB file. I just renamed it according to our naming convention, and then also the by importing that you have to define that we want to have it as a solid. And what we also want to have, so you just place it somewhere, is our template file, so that we can adapt it to the UC2 insert system. So here I just do the same. I insert my insert, and now what we want to do is we have to place them relative to each other. So for this, you already see that this part here has middle planes, so we want to have the same here. So double click here, and we will add planes that are middle planes between the outer edges. Relatively easy to do, so that's along the x-axis, same for the y-axis, and ta-da! This is luckily coinciding with the center of the optical axis. Perfect. So we're going to do the following. So we do right click and ground it so that we cannot move it anymore. This here we can still move, and so this helps us aligning the two parts relative to each other. So we're going to mount it such that its optical axis is coinciding with the one from the UC2, and so we do that for X and Y, and maybe you already spotted that this here is inches, so we want to change that. I think it's a wrong setting for my inventor, so you go to document settings, and here you select millimeter, and there we go. Now we can move this here along the optical axis, and what we want to do is basically make this coinciding with this here, and you click OK, and that's already it. So we want to have the insert thicker so that it's not wobbling along the optical axis, so you want to have it straight. So you can now start modifying that, and I suggest the following. So we don't want to overwrite the template, so this is a bit of a tedious thing because you cannot do in-place replacement using Inventor. So what I usually do is I save it as, and then I call it Arducam USB insert. Freeze just for our naming convention. I save that, and then, well, this is a bit of a tedious thing. I go to replace, and then you just select modify by date the one, and it will just do nothing. So now we have the right insert, and maybe we also save that assembly as a cube, Arducam USB v3, and there we go. The assembly is now saved. And basically what we need to do is making sure that the holes here are reflected here in the base plate, make it thicker, and also make sure that everything that's in the back, like screws or electrical components, are not hitting the assembly. So what we want to do is, first of all, double click here to open it, make the whole extrusion thicker, so that you don't have only 6 but let's say 12 millimeter, so then it's not tumbling too much. And what we should also do is keeping a distance between the Arducam board and the UC2 insert. So this here will then we allow ourselves to have a small gap between the camera and the insert. So we select this plane here and say, for example, 3 millimeter. So this should give us enough room for all the different parts here. Well, let's better do 4mm. And the connectors, and we have to leave one hole for the USB wire in the end. So that's yeah, one thing. So then we have to make sure that the holes are done properly. So we just project the geometry from the holes here, and then we remove this here in the base insert, basically. So this is just one extrusion. We want to do that through all, and then we remove it here. That's it for now. And we also want to have a spacer. So we again do a protection, and yeah, I want to have a spacer, let's say 3mm around it. So, and we want to do an extrusion so that this is keeping the camera away at a distance of 4mm. That's what we just said. So you select these bits here and let it go until the next surface, which is the back of the PCB. And now you can have a screw going through this board and then, well, fixing the camera board essentially. So we may run into problems here, but I'm positive that this will work. And then now we need to carve out one more hole for the USB connection, and then we're already done. So we just want to select this region here. So just do a coarse selection, draw that on my own and make an offset again, and do like 2mm. Well, let's do 1. And then selecting this here again, and do again a subtraction, cutting it out on both sides now in the whole thing. And that's it. So we are ready to go. Just save it again, and yep, that's the whole insert already. So what we want to do now is printing it out. And for this we have to export that as an STL. Make sure, so if you hit options, that it's millimeters, high accuracy, and then hit OK. Save that. And then you can go, for example, to your slicer. Prusa is the way to go usually, in our case. Select the module. There we go. And then you can start slicing it. Usually we go for 0.3mm thickness, and then you can start spotting errors. For example, here I forgot to, well, I falsely selected the hole here, so I'm just going to remove this here, do another STL export. Yes, and then here in the file I just do a reload. That's it. Ta-da! Now it's your turn to do your own insert. Have fun. Thank you.